Welcome, everybody, to our online edition of Coach's Corner. As once again, you'll be able to hear these anytime you want on the World Wide Web, as we still catch up, though, with Worthington Trojan and Minnesota West coaches throughout the entire school year, as we are catching up now with Minnesota West Bluejay men's basketball coach Kris Babler. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Coach, appreciate the time. It's kind of our first one here in a while, so kind of recapping things so far, as it's a big week here for Minnesota West. Division play begins. You know, this is where what it's really all about.
Yeah, everything up to this is just prologue, and that's kind of what I've been saying with this group all along. You know, we struggled out in our first 6 games, and in our last 6, we're back to a 500 ball club here. So 3-3 in the last ones, and we were coming off a big win against Vermilion up at the Central Lakes Classic. So we're excited to get Riverland in town.
Let's talk a lot about a few games kind of before break. As you mentioned, you know, you're coming in here in your first year, and, you know, the guys got to get used to you. You're getting used to them. And, you know, like you said, the beginning of the year, chance for you to really kind of build the camaraderie, build the trust, you know, start building toward this point. And, you know, you talked about the first 6, kind of a struggle, but, you know, kind of right before break, hit a couple games where you really saw this team start to show what it is capable of when it can, if it can get to that point of it's clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, Coach Walker and I always talk about adjustment with players and how they adjust to being in college. And we've got a group that we've got 8 true freshmen and 2 sophomores, and the 2 sophomores haven't played a lot of basketball. So there was a big adjustment phase with them, and we started to see around game 6, game 7, bits and pieces of guys putting things together, and then the break came. And then again Saturday we saw you know, a glimpse of what this team can become.
Kind of take a look at the last few games here of 2000, at least coming into 2017, a loss to Dakota College on January the 2nd, you know, right out of New Year's, first game out of the gate. But it sounded like that there was, again, kind of moments you're able to kind of put it together, just couldn't put it together for the full 40.
Yeah, absolutely. We played a good first half, led into halftime with a 1-point lead, and then came out in the second half, built a 9-point lead up until around the 13-minute mark, and the wheels, you know, started to fall off. Qual Chol, an amazing freshman, probably one of the better players in the conference, in our league, certainly one of the best athletes. He made a few mental mistakes and got ejected, and we end up squandering our lead, and in the box score at least it looks like we got blown out, but that certainly wasn't the case. We played really well for stretches, and of course that ejection carried over into Friday night's game against Central Lakes, where they were bringing a D1 transfer in who had gotten eligible. So they win big Friday night, and we come out and surprise at that time 7-5 Vermilion team, you know, coached by Hall of Famer Paul McDonald.
Yeah, you know, that was a big win, not only just to get that W, but anytime I think you can get one of those wins where you have to kind of make plays at the end. You know, Jaden Hampton had a big game, but hey, kid steps up to the line, 3 seconds left, buries 2 big free throws. You know, that is good to see, able to perform under pressure. And I always feel like wins like that can, you know, hopefully be a boost as we go into division play.
I think they're seeing that they can be good. And they can be good especially when they move the basketball and play together and work for good team shots. The thing that doesn't get into the newspaper is Jaden, with 39 seconds left, makes a move to the middle, and the ball comes out wrong, and he misses badly. So it was huge, you know, for him, first of all, to go and get that rebound with 3.5 seconds left, but then to be able to go back to the line after having just failed to go up and win it for us. So happy for him.
Exactly. Let's talk about this team a little bit. Let's start with Jaden Hampton, I guess, and Qual Chol. Both those guys are just dynamic players. You know, like you mentioned, Qual with his athleticism and his length. And we're starting to see it, like you mentioned. You know, he's starting to learn. I think he's starting to just learn his role on this team and kind of how to, you know, basically kind of as the point guard, find that balance of, okay, when do I need to move the ball and when do I got to take it myself? Because a point guard always has that tough balance.
he's never played point guard before. So the fact that he can step in and guide and lead a team as a true freshman in a good league is pretty remarkable to me. You're spot on. He's learning things as he goes. When to shoot, when not to shoot. He's an unselfish kid. So he'll be aggressive when he needs to be, and he'll make the right pass when he doesn't need to be. He's still learning some of the nuances of being the primary ball handler, but it's an exciting time for Qual. I think he's going to continue to get some attention from Division II colleges, and that's good for us, and it's good for him. Jaden Hampton's electric.
He is fun.
Fun basketball player.
Yeah.
Best scorer that we've got. Can score from all three levels. Lightning quick. He's adjusting to being more of a primary player. When he was a high school basketball player down at Fayetteville, he went to 3 state titles, and he was the 3rd, 4th, 5th guy a lot of nights.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he is electric. I enjoy watching Jaden play quite a bit. Kind of sticking with the guards a little bit. We've seen Jabron Ochitho. Brownie, really hadn't played basketball for, over a year. He got hurt early in his senior season here at Worthington. And another guy that took him a little bit maybe to get used to the college game. But, Brownie's a guy who can come in and at least give you some minutes when you need it. You talked about always trying to build depth. Everybody wants to have depth, but I think Brownie's a guy who can kind of give you those few minutes when you need them, either to give a guy a break or somebody gets in foul trouble.
Yeah, Jabron is kind of a revelation. When he walked in our gym, he was probably, and I'm trying to be nicer, he's probably one of the worst basketball players because he's coming off an ACL injury.
Not played for a long, long time. Yeah, that takes a toll.
And he's been our leading scorer twice. He's just kind of a quiet worker and, a selfless kid, good defender. And he's one of the reasons I think we started to turn it around, because other guys have looked at him and said, if he can do it, I can do it. He continues to grow, and we're really happy for Jabron and the success he's had.
Who are some of the other guys that have kind of impressed you so far this year?
Well, when we look at this group and all of their inexperience, the growth has come in kind of like spurts. Mm-hmm. Frustrating at times, and I know every coach out there, especially at the high school level, has their moments of frustration with young people. But we've been really patient, and we think guys like Brandon Harkula and Jeremy Joseph. Guys like Jordan Snelling, and I think they're really starting to turn the corner. Another guy who's local, who's been kind of a revelation, has been Darren Hesbeck. Mm-hmm. He was a guy I had pegged as a redshirt, and he's always here, always working. He's a guy who gets in the gym outside of practice, and he's done some things to help us.
Darren's one of those kids where you could just tell, the first couple of games just looked like deer out of the headlights. Because that jump from high school to college ball, even JUCO ball. People like to put that stigma on JUCO sometimes, but what people don't understand, it is really tough. It is still college basketball. You get these guys for 2 years, so really a lot gets put on these guys as they come in as freshmen. It's not like a 4-year program where, well, maybe we can redshirt a guy and bring him along slowly. Hey, you got 2 years, it puts a different emphasis on that. And we've seen Darren, as you mentioned, work, gone from kind of that deer in the headlights to, now he's just steady, reliable guy down low for you.
He's leading the team in field goal percentage, which is crazy. I mean, he's 165 pounds.
Yeah.
So that kind of says some things about, the work he's done. The JC level is so much better than folks realize.
Yes, I would agree.
And everybody who walks in as a player, they come up here thinking I'm going to dominate this league. I'm going to be the guy. And that's never the case. They'll run into 3 or 4 people in this league who are better basketball players than even the best guys in our gym.
Yeah. It's really trial by fire might be the best way to put it, because, you really need to, it takes a certain kind of maturity and mental toughness to really kind of grasp that early and be able to kind of build and succeed from that start.
Yeah, I've coached the 4-year level before, and I would say that that's one of the fun things about junior college basketball is the fact that you can throw people right in the fire and see what they got.
Yeah.
And they'll see it too. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It becomes crystal clear to these young guys through that first semester, what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, and that everyone's got a lot to learn. So it's fun, and we want fans to come back out because we're starting to play better basketball now.
And we got a chance to do it this week. 2 home games for the Bluejays. Again, they open up Southern Division play in the MCAC, hosting a very good Riverland team, so a good challenge for you right out of the gate. And then Fergus Falls on Saturday, so you know how it goes in this league, and every game is a big game from now on. Doesn't matter who you're playing, you got to bring it every night.
Riverland's a great matchup with us. 2 of those kids, 2 of their starters, are guys I coached at Bloomington Kennedy years ago, so I know them very well. And then their starting post was a guy I recruited at Rainy River Community College. So even though I've never competed against Riverland, they feel very familiar to me, and I know our guys understand the importance of this game. If the regional tournament is something that they aspire to do, then Wednesday we're going to come out and we're going to compete hard.
There you go. Talking here with Minnesota West Bluejay men's basketball coach Kris Babler. Coach, appreciate a few moments of your time. We'll see you at the gym on Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Thanks so much for having me.